Yeah, so with the dead period ending, obviously all the big names are scheduling their visits. You have JTT who scheduled us as his second to last visit, which we'll get to that later in the show. So I want to start off with the June 4th visits. June 4th is going to be a pretty good day for Oregon, as long as it's a good day. That sounded weird. But you have Cyrus Moss, the 4-star defensive end, or edge now with how 247's changed and stuff. You have the 4-star corner, Terence Brooks out of Texas. You have the 4-star linebacker, Jalen Sneed, the 4-star tackle, Cameron Williams, and the defensive lineman, Sir Mells. So that's 5 major targets for the Ducks coming in on one day. We really need to get that replacement for Mykael Wright. We really need to get that replacement for Kayvon Thibodeau. And those are 2 of our big targets, but also 2 guys being targeted by really huge schools. Terence Brooks is visiting Alabama the same day as JTT. Cyrus Moss has to visit a bunch of other schools. I think Cyrus Moss decides in the next month or 2. I'm not sure about Terence Brooks or Jalen Sneed or Cameron Williams or Sir Mells. Sir Mells I feel really good about. Going into that, he was a Washington commit. He got an Oregon offer and coincidentally decommitted about, I think it was 36 hours later. And same for another Washington commit. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Right now, it seems like a Oregon and Arizona battle for Sir Mells. But he does have offers from Michigan, Maryland, Oregon, Arizona. He's a 6'4", 310-pound D lineman. Probably ends up playing either nose tackle or defensive tackle if he goes to Oregon. I'm not sure what Arizona has planned for him. He's huge. He's a huge need for the team. We've had an issue with some inside defensive line ever since Jordan Scott's now gone. He lost some weight getting ready for the NFL, and obviously it made an impact when it came to stopping the run with how we were trying to change the defensive system. Outside of that, there's a big push going into San Diego. Last year, last minute, we snagged Byron Cardwell, the running back. Again, we're going after another San Diego player, thankfully getting into it a little earlier, maybe make it a little easier to land him. Jaleel Florence, the defensive back, 6'2", 180 pounds. He's got offers from Michigan, Washington, Arizona as well. It's a lot of the same schools. When we're recruiting out west, it seems to be a lot of Michigan, Washington, Oregon. And then we recruit out east, we're always recruiting against like Georgia, Alabama, and Auburn. So they're definitely guys we're coming after at the same time. It's going to be huge to land them because we're likely losing Mykael Wright, potentially losing Jamal Hill is eligible, I believe. And there's so many guys that could move on. We're not sure who's going to, but there's just, you got to be ready in case guys do leave. After those, we have the June 25th visits. There's 4-star wide receiver Nicholas Anderson, 4-star offensive tackle George Fitzpatrick, 3-star corner Zeke Berry, 4-star Florida defensive lineman Nigel Kelly, I believe his name is, and then 3-star athlete Anthony Jones. Now, when it comes to Zeke Berry, the De La Salle corner, he is 6 foot, 185 pounds. Now, but I don't know if you've ever seen his tape. His hips are nice. He's got good hip movement. He plays running back, wide receiver, safety, and corner in high school. I think I would like him best as a corner. He's got a lot of speed and he can catch. Obviously, because he's playing wide receiver. But that's a similar makeup to who just left Oregon. Just got drafted to the Miami Dolphins, Javon Holland. Javon Holland always told everybody he was a better wide receiver than he was a safety. And Zeke Berry being a 3-star, you wouldn't guess it when you look at his offer sheet. He's got offers from big-time schools. You got Cal, you got UCLA, Pitt, Minnesota, Oregon, and a bunch of other schools offering him. So some of these guys, maybe they are a 3-star, but they're not going to be 3 stars come the end of the cycle, or they're going to outshine their rankings because these guys are getting offered by big-time schools, and it's not for no reason. These guys get paid to do this. And so there's something rare coming in for Oregon. We do have a legacy recruit, which is not at all common for Oregon. I think I've seen one, and he went to Washington, Elijah Molden. His dad, Alex Molden.
Sure. Yeah. Big-time corner.
Best corner on the team during the pick six or the pick year when Kenny Wheaton caught the pick against Howard, which coincidentally you got Molden and Howard going to Washington after Molden picked off Howard's dad. And we have Jonah Moy. He is Jonah Moy's cousin, I believe, Jackson Moy. He's a defensive lineman. Jonah Moy played linebacker at Oregon from 2016 to 2017. He was projected to be really good. He ended up I think his best year was 27 total tackles. But Jackson Moy is a defensive lineman. He's got offers from the big schools. He's got Stanford, USC, Cal, UCLA, all the big schools out west. Plus, you got guys like Michigan giving him offers. He's getting a lot of attention. And if Oregon can start holding on to the very few legacy guys that are coming through, over the next few years, you're going to start seeing these legacy guys come through more and more, as Oregon's finally been good for about 20-something years now. So now the guys who originally went through the Oregon program, so they're getting to be like 40, 38, like, later in life where they're about to start having kids. They're done with football. Their kids may be getting older now. So it's going to start getting to the point where we actually have legacy recruits to go after. So maybe you get a Sam Howard coming down the pipeline, but you got to actually land these kids. You can't let them go off somewhere else.
Mike, I'll say this, and again, we want to track Mike at fifthquarter.net. So when I pull up his name, you'll see where you can track him on Twitter and at the website there. So catch Mike's work across the board. Mike, when you look down this list, who do you feel, based on your info, who are the strong leans in Oregon's direction? Who do you feel confident they're going to get versus who are some of those guys that they're going to have their work cut out for them?
So with some of the guys we feel really confident for, the aforementioned Sir Mel's, I don't think it's much of a coincidence that he decommitted soon after receiving an Oregon offer. I don't think there's a lot of coincidence to that at all. I think it was actually less than 24 hours after getting the offer he decommitted. If I had to bet, I would make it a 95-5 bet that he goes to Oregon. He's been a lean to Oregon ever since he decommitted for Washington. As well as not everyone's going to feel the same way, but Cyrus Moss, I really do think leads to Oregon. I think he's going to end up at Oregon. Now, a lot of things can change with these visits coming up, and he's obviously got a lot of time till his signing day. It's not like JTT, who's got to sign by the end of the month. And outside of that, I think it's really a coin flip when it comes to the wide receivers. You got Darius Clemens, you got Kevin Coleman, you got Evan Stewart, and then you got Kevin Thomas. Those are the four main wide receivers Oregon seems to be pushing. And if I had to guess, we're going to land Darius Clemens and one of Kevin Coleman or Evan Stewart. I don't know which one, but I'm fairly confident we could land one of them. It's really going to be a coin flip on that, but one's going to end up at an Alabama-type school, and then one's going to end up at Oregon.